So let's talk about how we do the Rebirth Island Easter egg. The very first thing we're going to do, look for this black roof on the stronghold side of Rebirth Island. What we're going to look for is a Molotov to open the very first bunker. I usually like landing here on this white missile launcher. If you don't miss it like I do and turn around, there's a wooden box. A lot of times there's a Molotov right here. If there isn't, go by and look through nearby boxes. All you're looking for is a Molotov. If you see a munitions box, make sure you pick that up as well, because you will need a second Molotov for the second bunker. If you keep going along the side here, the first bunker is on the right. There's a glowing red panel covered in ice. That is what we need the Molotov for. There's a Molotov sitting right here by the truck that I missed the first time. I'm not sure if that Molotov is there every single time. I will have to double check on that. There's a lot of boxes here we can open. If you can't find a Molotov, just keep going down. By the time you get to Stronghold, you will find a Molotov. Go back to the bunker once you have the Molotov, throw the Molotov on the icy panel, give it a couple seconds for the ice to melt, and you should be able to interact with it. Press to interact. The bunker doors should pretty slowly open. There's a couple boxes in there you can loot for. The most important thing though is right at the back here at the bottom of the shelf, there's this little wooden box and there's a hard drive. Make sure you pick up the hard drive, and that's what you'll need for the second bunker. So the second bunker will be near Turbine, which is quite a far distance away, so we have to get there somehow. The easiest way to get there is to take the vehicle inside the bunker that you were just at. The problem, of course, is it's noisy and you're probably gonna get shot when you get to control, which is right here. So normally I just run, and right when I get to the front of control, I jump down into docks and just run through docks rather than running through control. If it's really messy, worst case scenario, you can swim all the way around, but that takes a little bit of time. So go all the way to the end of docks, go up this area here where you see the little tower that says Sulfur Silo. You're going to Molotov the second icy control panel and press to interact. Now, the problem with this particular bunker is you have to wait till the bunker doors fully open before you can open the second set of doors. So make sure there's no enemies nearby. Once the doors are open, you can open the regular doors, press to interact with this computer. Take a note of these numbers. So this one is 0, 10, and 11. I'm going to put the number on the screen so we can have it later. 01011, or however you would like to memorize it. Write it down, whatever you need. There's usually a loadout box with your favorite loadout, at least in casuals, so that is useful as well, because you probably don't have time to pick up your loadout weapon. So if you keep going, go up the ladder, go up onto the hill, and you're going to go to the tunnel at the bottom of prison. You're going to go all the way to the end of the tunnel, and you're going to see a keypad with 5 lights on top, which match the lights that we found from the code earlier. Now this part's a little complicated. So obviously 0 represents off and 1 represents on. But what's going to happen is each light from left to right is going to blink 3 times. When the light is blinking, if you press toggle, you will lock in the on position. In the 3 blinks, if you do nothing, it will lock the off position. Then I'll move to the second, then the third, then the fourth, and then the 5th light. So let's actually go through what it actually does. So press to activate. First light is off, do nothing. Second light blinking, press X to lock in. Third light off as well, don't do anything. Fourth light is blinking, press X. 5th light we also want on, press X again. It doesn't really matter how many times you press X, it only works once. If you press X accidentally when it should have been off, you just got to restart it once you're done the whole sequence. So once you go in, you're going to find this control panel, which has the specialists and the blueprint. First thing you're going to do is you're going to go all the way to the back and look for these little pieces of paper. So this part's a little complicated because there's 7 positions, 7 pieces of paper, and 7 control panels. I've labeled them on this little chart that I made from 1 to 7. And what you're going to have to do is if the paper says engage, you're going to have to press the panel. If the paper says disengage, you can just ignore it. The only problem is you have to do these in order. And once you activate, there's only about 7 seconds for each panel. So we're going to go through each of the 7 positions. So starting from the specialist area, you're going to go to the back corner. There's a double barrel here. Read the note. That is going to be the very first panel. So this panel says switch 1 engaged. Switch 1 will have to be turned on later. On the wall, you can see the black panel there. That's the panel we have to turn on. If we go back into the middle area, switch 2, look for these 2 giant tanks. The note will be on this little cupboard in the corner beside the tanks. This one says disengage. So this one needs to be off, but for practical reasons, let's just ignore it. We just remember 1 so far is on. Switch 4 is the easiest. It's just right by this main wall. So let's just take a quick look at it. Switch 3 is right beside it on this little shelf. The panel, though, is actually behind you on the middle wall. So this one says engage. So let's remember 1 and 3 so far is on. Let's go back to switch number 4, which is in the middle wall. This one says disengage, which means off. So let's just ignore it. It doesn't really mean we have to do anything. So switch 5, you're going to take a left and go all the way to the very back. This one is on a single barrel. So let's read the note here. This one says engage. So 1, 3, 5 so far is on. So if we look at that, the panel as well is on the wall rather than beside it. Right beside it on the other corner on these cardboard boxes is switch number 6. And if we go to switch number 7, it's in this area, not by the tanks, by this fume hood with the gloves. So I call this gloves, but you can remember it however you need. If you click on that, this one says engage as well. So if we go back, 1, 3, 5, and 7 says engage. 2, 4, 6 says disengage, don't worry. This one has to be fast. So start at the control panel, press X. Immediately go to number 1. So 1 is engaged. So press X to toggle when it says toggle. Switch 2, we don't care, so let's go directly to switch 3. Wait for it to toggle for appear. The minute toggle goes on, immediately press it. Then we're going to run to the next one. Switch 4, we skip again. We're going to go straight to switch 5. Again, that says on. We're going to wait for it to toggle. Once the toggle appears, we're going to spam it. And then switch 6, we skip, so let's just go directly to switch 7, which is the one in here by the gloves. So the minute toggle appears, you're going to press it. And it should appear roughly every 7 seconds for every number. So you really don't have much time, you have about a minute. Once you did all of them correctly, the secret area will unlock. You can pick up specialist, you can pick up an advanced UAV, and you can pick up the blueprint. If you grab the blueprint and keep it on you till you die, you should unlock it as a blueprint. And that's all you need to do to finish the Easter egg.